Hello everyone and welcome to TFT Tarot for Today, and this is Oberon's outlook on the emotional exchanges, which is my weekly reading for the signs of the Zodiac as organized by their elemental associations, a two-card poll to talk about your emotional relationships and the situations in relationship to that. And so for this, I use the fabulous Final Rose Tarot, this beautiful deck with the gold and gilt edges. It's actually kind of a novelty deck, but I get such nice results, and the pictures are quite evocative. It just does speak to me. So hit the like button if you like my reading. Please share, do all those appropriate things. And we're going to get started right now. Alrighty, one more little shuffle here, and a riffle. Alright, so to get the elemental patterning correctly, I will cut for each association. So first we have air, fire, water, and earth. And we start with Aries, the first sign of the Zodiac. The good vibration. It's the Eight of Cups, the Eight of Flutes. It says self-elimination. Well, the good vibration is that perhaps you live to fight another day, that you basically, in terms of relationships and romance, things like that, you are moving on. You have actually decided to pull yourself from the situation you may have been in romantically or with some emotional part of your life, and you're moving to something that you hope to be better. Now, that was the good vibration. What is the bad trip? We pull that one from the bottom of that deck for each card, for each sign. And the bad trip is the reversed King of Wands. It says the executive producer. King of Roses, King of Wands. The bad trip. It may be that you could have some encounter with somebody who you feel a sort of magnetism with, but it may be an anti-magnetism, like somebody who draws you to them, but at the same time says, please keep your distance. Very interesting. So watch for that. Okay, so now we move to Taurus, the earth sign. And Taurus, your good vibration is the high priestess, called the advisor from the major arcana, and it's reversed. And I believe this card says for Tauruses that you may have to go with what your gut feelings are, even if they represent your more physical interests, that this is not necessarily a time for you to feel overly spiritual in terms of how you are connecting with your relationships. It really is a time to go with the actual physical gut feeling of whether you should come or whether you should go or whether you should do something more or do something less. So Tauruses, follow your heart as expressed maybe through your gut. Now, that was the good vibration. Here's the bad trip. And the bad trip is the Two of Swords upright. It's called the Two of Mirrors here. 2 on 1. The bad trip, you're not really ready to make this move. You have to really kind of hold it back a little bit. You need more information. You need to know more about this. It's not just necessarily about going with your gut. It's also really knowing you don't know everything you think you need to know. Keep in mind, this is about relationships. All right, so from Taurus, we go to Gemini. And Taurus, or Gemini, the good vibration, well, it's card 15. It says the villain, that's the devil in most regular tarot decks, the devil. So this is the good vibration. And I think for Gemini, this may be saying really, you want to consider the limits of your attraction and or devotion, and or whether or not you are possibly overly obsessed. So it's a good vibration because you actually are questioning that. You are looking in terms of your relationship, your primary one, or certain ones perhaps, as being perhaps corruptive on you, and you are exploring that. You're exploring that in the way of trying to realize if it's really true and what you can do about it. So now, Gemini, going to the bottom card for the bad vibration. And it's the Major Arcana 1, the Magician, but here it's called the Producer. I think the bad trip here is understanding how all the components fit together in terms of you easing that situation, that it may be you have really to assemble all the components of your willpower and really focus so totally on this outcome that you may be negating some other situations that you really need to not negate. All right, Gemini. And then we go to Cancer. And your good vibration is the reversed King of Pentacles. It says, the jeweler. I think the good vibration really is looking at your love interest or the potential love interest, the interest you're trying to find, the situation maybe in general with relationships around you. And as you look at that, you want to realize that that main value to you is not necessarily the physical security or the material possessions it brings to you. You could be devoid that, and you would still feel this love or this bond or this emotional relationship with certain persons. So it's really about you saying the material things have little to matter with that you love them because it's more unconditional. So what is your bad vibration? What is your bad trip? And it is, in fact, Major Arcana 6, the Lovers. I believe you have a choice coming to you. And the choice may be between these really extreme situations. I mentioned the extremity of saying unconditional love versus love that's not based on emotional love, but maybe love of things, and how that wasn't the factor in the first one. But maybe the choice that comes to you and is a bad trip because you have to make this choice is going back to that, is deciding what has more value to you, something emotionally pleasing or something else. Back to the fire signs with Leo. And the good vibration is the Queen of Swords reversed. Let's call it the bitch here. The Queen of Mirrors. Queen of Swords reversed. In saying that this is a good vibration, this is really saying you're mostly pleased and empowered with your ability to make decisions that you know are the right ones and to not necessarily feel great remorse or self-hatred because not everyone is going to like those decisions. And so your good vibration is knowing you can wear the shoes of the bitch without having to take that baggage on yourself completely. That at the end of the day, how you express the other things that just quantify what your love or relationships are about, don't interfere with that. That people judge you for the love you actually give, not for the decisions you have to make. So fire sign Leo, what's the bad trip? And it's the Wheel of Fortune, called Destiny here. And the bad trip, I would suppose, is that you're going to keep working on achieving a sense of a destiny or purpose that maybe will be somewhat out of your reach, or will always kind of spin away just before you get there. That your fortune will really change a lot, and so you will be making maybe these decisions trying to pull that cycle back together, but it may not always work exactly the way you want. Okay, from Leo we go to Virgo. And your good vibration is the reversed Five of Wands. And it's a good vibration because I believe in terms of emotions and relationships, you're probably knocking the wind out of somebody's sail. You're sort of putting somebody in their place. You're taking their measure and finding them wanting. It may very well be that you are finding an advantage in terms of the things that you may be competing with or for with various people in that emotional landscape you have, that life that you have there. You may really be finding that you have to be more forceful to get what you want emotionally. And so it's a good vibration because in the sense that you're really not about hurting them, you're really just about winning. So then Virgo, earth sign, and it is so Virgo, isn't it? Your bad trip is the Eight of Pentacles, the Eight of Rings, the camera guy. Your bad trip is that you find really there's a sense of you having to not win outright in this situation I'm talking about, but to maybe go back to be more prepared for these kind of things. You may just find you don't have the time or the space to really work on some of those romantic achievements. You have to work maybe on more fundamental issues. Some of those may support that. For example, finding a home if you are in a new relationship that you can share. But more than that, I think camera guy is saying that the bad trip suggests times aren't just right yet. More has to be found out before you can really pull into either this relationship or pull more away from it if it's time to pull away from it. So that was Virgo. So then we move to Libra, and Libra has a good vibration, the reversed Six of Cups. And Libra, this is a time for you to maybe really review at a very deep emotional level some things from your past. There are things that you're having a hard time letting go. So I suspect it's some of the great love or loves of your life that have kind of withered away from you, that were lost for various reasons. But you realize this reverie will help you with that. So that's a good vibration for you, Libra. Now your bad trip is the Bachelor reversed. That's the Emperor reversed. And that is indeed a bad trip. The bad trip may be that you find that although mentally, emotionally, you can make this journey, what you can do with it physically is not in your control. That if these are situations that are coming back and that are still having importance today, they're kind of the things that have their own flow and that you won't necessarily be able to alter them very much, Libra. So then we move to water sign Scorpio, and the good trip is the Five of Swords, the Tattletale. And I think this is saying that from that emotional point of view, you're going to discover who's holding the cards, and maybe you'll be able to mount your plan for them. You're going to find out things. You may not necessarily be a tattletale. It's more likely something will be revealed to you, maybe from a tattletale. And I think it's a good vibration because I think it gives you that winning edge you need in perhaps a particular relationship turmoil that's going on right now. So then what are the bad trips here? And it's the fans. Major Arcana 21, the fans, the idea of everyone watching us. The world is watching us. And I think it's a bad trip because what it's saying is that what you intend to do with this information, or how you intend to present this idea about maybe being, more definitive and saying what it really is in terms of a relationship, it's not going to go where you think it is. It's really going to sort of elicit a where nobody will really register exactly what they can feel here. You may have really stunned either your intended audience or audiences, and it's just going to sort of stand still. The world will stand still, at least for the time being. Okay, so then now we're back to fire signs with Sagittarius. And your good vibration is the King of Cups, also called the single dad. And that's a good vibration because I think it's showing Sagittarians that it's not necessarily about deep romantic love. It's really about very foundational kind of things, humanitarian, the giving of yourself. Maybe this is talking about a family. Maybe this is talking about single dads or single moms. But it really is about saying you're doing that unconditional love that we were talking about. You're really showing it in action. Okay, Sagittarius, so what is the bad trip? And the bad trip is the reversed Eight of Wands, the leap of faith. The bad trip is you're going to find this is really very consuming and very draining of you, de-energizing. You're going to find that maybe there's a sense of doubt that creeps in over what this is doing or how your motivations or goals are seen, and that this may really kind of call you to pull back a little bit and maybe not display yourself quite as forcefully. All right then, Capricorn, the good trip. It's the reversed Five of Rings. That's the Five of Pentacles. It says insecure, but it's turned over. So this is one of those cards that truly is better when it's turned over up reversed. The Five of Rings reversed, the Five of Pentacles. Capricorns, I think we're going to really, like maybe some of the other signs, really get deep down in touch with some things that have been bothering us, have been challenging our sense of how we work with other people in our lives, whether they're our primary or strong relationships or other ones. And I think we're going to find that we kind of have that. And Pentacles, that does represent the earth sign. So I think this is very grounding for Capricorns. I think this is really good card. You're just really coming to terms with how complete and full your world is. So your bad trip then could only be something like the Knight of Cups reversed, the hopeless or a helpless romantic, the horrible romantic. Those are things I think of when I see that card. So the Knight of Cups reversed as the bad vibration may say that this realization also tells you you really have to focus more on other issues rather than emotions, and that maybe if you had been thinking about starting a new relationship or starting new friendships, you may be pulling back, you may be slowing down with that. If you're in a relationship, you may spend more of this time thinking about everything. Maybe there's some things that need to be reconciled on both your parts. So I think this is really pulling back from moving ahead with romantic considerations until maybe some things are understood. So from Capricorn, we now go to Aquarius, the air sign. And their good vibration is the reversed Ace of Wands. The first impression, it says. So as a good vibration, I think this could be saying that we realize we need to take some time with trying to make that good first impression. That maybe if we are new again or to the dating world or the world of relationships, we want to really do everything possible to not rush anything in this matter and to work towards our best possible impression. Okay, Aquarius, so then what's the bad trip? And the bad trip is the Page of Cups, the daydreamer. And so it may be saying, just don't take too long and don't get too abstract or vague about what you're trying to pull together to sell yourself in a relationship or within the relationship you now have. Don't vague post, as they say. Don't be so abstract that maybe nobody understands where you're really coming from and whether you really mean business. All right, so then finally we are on to Pisces, the water sign. And Pisces, good vibration. It's the reversed Eight of Swords. And it says, in your head. I think this is a good vibration. This is a good vibration for Pisces. And, a lot of times Pisces, the sign itself, the season itself talks about the kind of ways that we make ourselves lonely or isolate ourselves. It's very, very clinical in a way in terms of that. And I believe that this is saying you're going to do better than that this week. That maybe this is the week where you really look at your emotional issues in the ways of what it is that really holds you back, that makes you vague, that makes you reticent or reluctant to do things emotionally, whether it's about primary relationships or even courage within relationships. You're going to start working on this and trying to figure out how you can get less self-conscious, because I think that's a big part of it. So then the bad trip. The bad trip is number 18, the moon. And it may be that in terms, the moon, that's so perfect for Pisces, but it looks like really you're about to discover something really important. You're about to part the clouds or to go to the other side of the moon to discover a mystery, something maybe that you didn't expect. It could be that maybe somebody's attracted to you that you had no idea and you don't really know for sure that you want to go there. Or it may be that the person really that you're finding there is definitely not somebody you're interested in. It seems to me like Pisces is going to discover or have a revelation. Maybe it's combined with that too. I don't know exactly how, but um, it may be that as we're stepping forward that we attract the wrong attention, that our brilliant moonlight pulls in somebody that we're not really thinking we should be dealing with. So please be careful, Pisces. I mean, it sounds a little bit interesting there. I don't know. And that's what I have for my emotional exchanges this week. So I'd like to thank everybody for watching. Don't forget to watch the happy hour tomorrow where we give a one card positive reading from Spirit to each and every one of you. And then, of course, on Sunday, Banshees Material Manners at 10 a.m. in the morning. We're live in the chat room, so you can chat with us about that reading or just about anything. And then later on Sunday, we have another live stream from 2 to 4 p.m., our regular live stream. So I hope you'll all join us, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.